Hi everyone, this is your Shafiq sir. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today also I am going to explain the one of the important topic in microeconomics. What is the indifference curves? How they draw the indifference curves? What is the graph and what is the rate of substitution? So, what is the properties of indifference curves? These are the very important topics. Simply, I will try to explain the total indifference curves. Okay, please watch that my video until the end. It's very important. For that, everyone, please subscribe my channel. Who are not subscribed, please subscribe my channel and share to your friends for the more videos purpose. So thank you. Okay. So today let us discuss about the what is the indifference curves. So indifference curves. Listen here. It is the one alternative method introduced by the Alfred Marshall also. Okay, indifference curves. Generally, indifference curves based on the ordinal utility. So before in our previous class, I am already clearly explained that. So the utility of the commodity can be measured through the two methods: cardinal method, ordinal method. So cardinal and ordinal. Already previous in our previous class I am clearly explained that cardinal method explains about the utility of the commodity. We can measure and compare with the numerical numbers. That is called as a cardinal utility or cardinal method. But ordinal method, so ordinal method is nothing but utility cannot be measurable, but it is the comparable. So utility cannot be measurable, but it is the comparable with the ordinal numbers. This is the developed by the Allen and Hicks. Allen and Hicks both are the developing that ordinal utility method. So actually, sir, why? Because they are developing that ordinal utility. So Alfred Marshall developing that cardinal utility. According to that cardinal utility, utility can be measurable. So, but Allen and Hicks they criticizing that cardinal method, Marshall cardinal method. It's not possible. Utility cannot be measurable because it is the subjective one, and we are not properly measure that utility of the commodity. Nowadays consumer cannot satisfying with the one good. Only cardinal utility explain that when you are using the single commodity, one commodity, it is useful to measure that satisfaction of the commodity and consumer. But if the consumer using the more goods like the two goods and three goods, it's not possible. So that's why Allen and Hicks they criticizing that cardinal approach, cardinal method with the help of the ordinal utility approach. So consumer can be utility can be measurable between the one commodity to another commodity. So with the help of the indifference curves. Indifference means consumer they are indifferent between the goods. So they at a time they can purchase the two goods X and Y goods, which goods are given the same level of satisfaction to the consumer. So why? Because they introducing that ordinal method, ordinal approach, because cardinal approach is the single goods model. That's why it is not possible when the consumer consuming the more goods at that time, that satisfaction will not be measurable. So that's why it is a completely subjective matter when you are taken that complementary goods and substitute goods. So when you are using that more goods, it's not possible to measure that by the cardinal method. By the using that ordinal method, easily we can say that which is the given the more satisfaction, and which is not given the less, which is given the less satisfaction. Easily we can compare that between the two goods with the ordinal method, ordinal approach. Okay, so totally these indifference curves developed through the ordinal method. So who is the developing that that indifference curves? Indifference curves actually developed by Allen and Higgs. So both are these economists developing that indifference curves through the ordinal approach. So Allen and Higgs. Sir, what is called the indifference curve? Simply, indifference curves is nothing but indifference curves represent the satisfaction of the consumer from two goods which gives the same level of satisfaction from two goods. Listen here now. From two goods which gives the same level of satisfaction, that is called as a indifference curves. So indifference curves represent the satisfaction of the consumer from two goods which gives the same level of satisfaction, that is called as a indifference curves. So but marginal utility, law of equimarginal utility, that is based on the cardinal method. But here ordinal method, according to the ordinal method, so it is useful for the comparison purpose between the two goods. For example, here apples and mangoes. Mangoes gives the how much satisfaction, and apple gives the how much satisfaction gives to the, it is better than the mango or apple. We have to compare between the two goods, that is called as a indifference curves. Indifference curves represent the satisfaction of the consumer from two goods which give same level of satisfaction. Here simply I will try to explain that table, indifference curve table and graph. Listen here, ma. This is the combinations A, B, C, D, E, F. Three combinations is there, and first combination, marginal utility of X, marginal utility of Y. There are taken the two goods, X and Y goods. X and Y goods. If, for example, mango and apples. X is the mango, Y is the apple. So how to consumer consuming that goods in the different combinations which gives the same level of satisfaction, for example, A combination, consumer consuming the 1 apple and 20 mangoes. So for example, he has the 20 rupees. What is the income of the consumer? 20 rupees is there. With the help of the 20 rupees, 1 apple purchasing from X commodity and 20 mangoes, he want to purchase that. So that is in the A combination. How many apples are purchasing here? 1 apple, and this is the apple, this is the mango. So in the A combination, consumer purchasing the 1 apple, 20 mangoes. Sir, why? Because they purchasing the less from X commodity apples means that depends upon their price. So when the price is very high is there, so that consumer they want to consuming the very less goods. But mango's price when the very low is there, that consumer within the 20 rupees they can purchasing the more mangoes. So in the A combination, but both are the gives the same satisfaction. Their satisfaction level is the very same is there. So in the A combination, consumer purchasing the 1 apple, 20 mangoes. Again B combination is there. In the B combination, how many apples purchasing? 2 apples, 15 mangoes he want to purchase that, which is also given the same level of satisfaction with the 20 rupees. Every combination, every time consumer they having the same level of satisfaction from the X and Y goods, apples and mangoes. For example, in the D combination, 4 apples and he want to purchase the 8. If you increasing the X commodity apples, they want to decreasing the mangoes. So if you want to purchasing the more from the X goods, they want to decreasing that Y goods, because every time he want to balance that, he want to purchase that within our limit of the income. So their actual income is 20 rupees is there. So if you want to increasing X goods, they can reduce the Y goods. If you want to decreasing the X goods, they can buy the more Y goods, mangoes. So here each one combination, B combination, 2 apples, 15 mangoes purchasing that, and in the C combination, 3 apples, 11 mangoes purchasing that. If the consumer increasing the marginal utility of X, means apples increases, their mangoes consumption also decreases, that marginal utility of Y also decreases. D combination, 4 apples, 8 mangoes. In the E combination, 5 apples and 6 mangoes. F combination, 6 apples and 5 mangoes. But every combination that gives the same level of satisfaction. So that is called as a indifference curves. So that is the same level of satisfaction. Their satisfaction is same is there from each one combination. Then you know that indifference curves always having that negative slope. Indifference curves having the negative slope. For example, on the x-axis I take that marginal utility of x, and on the y-axis I take the marginal utility of y. So indifference curves goes to left to right, downwards, because if the one commodity consumption increases, another commodity consumption decreases. For example, on the x-axis I take the apples. If you purchase the one apple, how much mangoes he can purchasing that? 20. So there is a 1 point is there. Okay, and if he want to, this is called as a combination. A combination, B combination, C combination, D combination, E combination, like that, F combination. So different combinations. So if he want to increasing the apples from 1 to 2, and they can reducing that mangoes 20 to 15. If you want to increasing the again that X commodity 3, and they can reduce that Y commodity 15 to 11, and again increasing that 4 apples increases in the on the x-axis, their y-axis also reducing that 11 to 8, 8 to 6, 6 to 5. When the apples are increases, X commodity increases, their marginal utility of Y also decreases. When the X commodity marginal utility of X decreases, again marginal utility of Y also increases, the satisfaction level also increases. That's why this indifference curve has the negative slope. One is increases, another one decreases. One is decreases, another one increases. That's why this is the combination is called as a B C D E F combination. So that's why the indifference curve goes to left to right, downwards. Okay, are you understand that indifference curve is nothing but it represents the satisfaction of the consumer from two goods, which gives the same level of satisfaction on the indifference curve. That is called as a indifference curve. Simple one, short answer purpose, very important one. First write down the definition, table, graph explanation is needed. And next important topic, what is the marginal rate of substitution? What is the marginal rate of substitution? Here, listen here, MRS MRS, marginal rate of substitution, is nothing but MRS of X and Y goods. So how much rate of goods substitute for the X for Y for X, that is called as a marginal rate of substitution. So consumer, sometimes they can substitute that goods X for Y for X, that is called as a marginal rate of substitution, MRX, X for Y for X. So this is called the marginal rate of substitution. Here one definition is there. What is called the marginal rate of substitution? Like that, the rate which the consumer is ready to exchange, the rate which the consumer is ready to exchange the commodity for another to get the equal satisfaction from all combination of all two goods, that is called as a marginal rate of substitution. So once again carefully listen here, the rate which the consumer is ready to exchange the commodity for another to get the equal satisfaction from all combinations of two goods. So how much exchange that for one commodity to another commodity, that is called as a marginal rate of substitution. So same table here applying here. First one, combination of goods A, B, C, D, E, F, different combination of goods is there, and this is the marginal utility of X commodity. This is the called as a marginal utility of Y commodity. For example, in the A combination, how much purchasing from X commodity? 1, because their price is very high, they can purchase the only low quantity, but mango's price is the very low, and which gives the more satisfaction to the consumer. That's why Y goods they purchasing the more goods, and X goods they purchasing the very less. So it is the one general problem to everyone when you are going to the any. So we can decide that how much goods we can purchase, that which is important to you. So how much goods purchasing that another goods, what is their satisfaction to you? For example, I need that grocery items like that rice, wheat, millets, whatever it is. So different food items I need, that first priority we have to give that purchasing that goods only. Then afterwards we can purchasing the other goods, optional goods like that, soaps, cosmetics, clothes, dresses, whatever it is. So which is very important to the consumer, that can be purchasing the more goods, and which are not important, that is the off, which is also important one, but they given the second priority about that. So that is depends upon every consumer is the rational person. Rational person is nothing but every time he want to get the maximum level of satisfaction with the low income. With the low income consumer want to get the maximum level of satisfaction. That's why he want to purchase the more from Y goods, he want to purchase from less goods from A combination. In the B combination, they want to increasing that X commodity, so one additionally he want to purchasing that two goods, but how many goods are reducing here from Y goods? 15 goods, only 5 goods, so means 5 is to the rate which the consumer is ready to exchange for the one commodity to another, that is called as a marginal rate of substitution. One additional commodity purpose, one additional X goods purpose, how much goods they want to reducing from Y good? 5. So that is called the rate of marginal rate of substitution. One additional X goods purpose, 5 goods they want to reducing that is called as a 5:1. And in the C combination, so here again one additional X commodity purpose, how many goods are losing here? They left that, so 15 to 11 means 4:1. for another one additional good purpose, X goods purpose, they are losing that for Y goods. So every time they want to get the equal satisfaction, because your income is very limited, your consumer income is very limited, so that's why sometimes they want to increasing the X goods, sometimes they want to increasing the Y goods, based on their satisfaction and based on their price. Consumer, they can substitute that goods X for Y for X. That is called as a marginal rate of substitution. In the decombination, again one additional good purpose, how many goods are reducing here? 3:1, that is the marginal rate of substitution. In the E combination, again one goods extra goods purpose, X good purpose, how many goods are losing here? 2 goods, that's why 2:1 is there. And in the F combination, he want to purchasing that F combination, here 6 goods purchasing from X goods, and 5 goods purchasing from Y goods, which are the given the same level of satisfaction. Whatever it is, this all combination of A, B, C, D, E, F, that combinations, the which is given the equal level of satisfaction by the consumer. It is called as a marginal rate of substitution. So what is the definition is there in the marginal rate of substitution? The rate which the consumer is ready to exchange for the one commodity for another to get the equal satisfaction from all combination of all 2 goods, that is called as a marginal rate of substitution. Okay, so both are the important one. So what is the indifference curves table and graph, and what is the marginal rate of substitution? Okay, so let us discuss the another topic. What is the properties of the indifference curves? So listen here. Another important topic. What is the properties of indifference curves? Properties of indifference curves. So what is the characteristics? That is the properties of indifference curves. First one, indifference curves has negative slope. So indifference curves always having the negative slope left to right downwards. So for example, in indifference curves always has the negative slope. So like that, indifference curves has the negative slope left to right downwards, but not the like this. So this is also wrong. Indifference curves always has the negative slope left to right, but not the like that left to right upwards, but not the vertical to the y axis. Indifference curves has the negative slope from left to right downwards. Why? Because there is a negative slope is there, because when the consumer increasing that X commodity consumption, automatically that satisfaction of the Y goods also decreases. When the satisfaction of the X goods decreases and Y commodity satisfaction increases, means that consumption also increase. That's why that indifference curves has the negative slope, but not the like this type, but not the like this type. Indifference curves has the always negative slope. And another important property of indifference curve, convex to the origin. Convex to the origin means center point. So indifference curves always has the convex to the origin. This is the convex point, center point. Convex, not conquered to the origin. like this. So this is the wrong, this is the correct. So indifference curve always has that convex to the origin. So it was looking like a U-shaped curve is called as a that is indifference curve, not the concave to the origin. Concave, this is called a concave curve. This is all convex curve. Convex is nothing but that is the equal to the center point, and but is the concave curves is the totally wrong. Okay, and convex to the origin and cannot intersect, the indifference curves cannot intersect with each other. So generally indifference curves always cannot intersect with each other. For example, this is the IC1, IC2, IC2. So here indifference cannot intersect with the each other. Intersect. So do not intersect with each other. IC1, this is the IC1 curve, but IC2 curve intersect from above the below area. That is not the one property of the indifference curves. Why? Because it cannot be intersect, because if the indifference curves are intersect, so here indifference curves gives the IC1 gives the more satisfaction to the consumer, but it is the below is their IC2 curve, so it gives the less satisfaction to you. But after this intersect, but here IC2 gives the more satisfaction, but IC1 gives the less satisfaction. So already you know the table. So indifference curves cannot be once increase, cannot be once decrease. So once decrease that, so continuously decrease that. Once increase that, continuously increase that. So that's why this is also wrong. Indifference curves cannot be intersect like that IC1, IC2. And indifference curves never touch the any axis, never touch the any axis. So actually never touch the any axis, either the x-axis or y-axis. So indifference curves represent the different levels of satisfaction of the consumer. So generally something, for example table, a combination A1 apple 25 mango, 25 mangoes, he can purchase that. So but not the, it shows the zero satisfaction. If the touching that indifference curves on the x-axis or y-axis, it indicate that there is a zero satisfaction is there. But every commodity, it has that some capacity to satisfy the human wants. So that's why every good, it has that some capacity to satisfy the human want. Something it gives you some satisfaction to the consumer. But here indifference curves, when they touch the x-axis and y-axis, it indicates that your satisfaction is zero. So that is not correct. Indifference curves never touch the any axis. That is the fourth property of the indifference curve. And another curve, in another property, indifference curves never touch the each other, never touch the each other. So generally indifference curves also never touch the each other. This is the IC1, IC2. So never touch the each other. So that is also one property of the indifference curves. Indifference curves never touch with each other. Okay, and then higher curve gives the high satisfaction. Higher curves gives the high satisfaction. Lower curves gives the low satisfaction. For example, IC1, IC2, IC3. 3. When the indifference curves goes to the upwards, when the indifference curves goes to the upwards, it gives the high satisfaction to the consumer. When the indifference curve goes to the downwards, it gives the less satisfaction to the consumer. So these are the six properties of the indifference curves. So what is the first one? First one here, indifference curves has the negative slope. Indifference curves convex to the origin, not the like this. And indifference curves cannot the intersect. Yeah, indifference curves never touch the any axis, and indifference curves never touch with each other, never touch with each other. Higher curve gives the high satisfaction to the consumer. So higher curve means when the moving that curves upwards, indifference curves moving the upwards, it gives the high satisfaction. When the indifference curves moving the downwards, it gives the less satisfaction to the consumer. This is called as a properties of indifferent curve. Okay, so which is also important topic. Yes, listen here. Another topic is consumers equilibrium. Consumer, how they get the equilibrium, that is called consumers equilibrium. There is a one definition is there clearly. Listen here. Consumers equilibrium, the point where the consumer get maximum possible satisfaction. Maximum, the point where the consumer get maximum possible satisfaction, where the budget line or price line tangent to the indifference curve is called the consumer's equilibrium. Okay, so the point where the consumer get maximum possible satisfaction, where the budget line or price line tangent to the indifference curves is called the consumer's equilibrium. So that is the definition of the consumer's equilibrium. Simply I will explain that where the point is nothing but this is the E point. Look at the this graph. This is the point at the point of A. So the where the point the consumer get possible satisfaction, maximum possible satisfaction at the point of A. Consumers, they can purchasing the ON quantity of Y goods, and they can purchase the OM quantity of X goods. They can get the maximum possible satisfaction at the point of E, where the budget line AB is the budget line. It is also called as a price line, where AB is the budget line or price line tangent to the indifference curves. Indifference tangent. So this point is called as a tangent, but this point is called as a intersect. Indifference curves intersect the above the budget line, but here at the point of Q, indifference curves intersect below the above to the budget line. These 2 points is not called as a equilibrium points. This point only it is called as a, so where the budget line price line tangent to the here tangent to the IC indifference curves is called the consumer's equilibrium. So in our previous graph I am already explained about that. When the indifference curves going to the upwards, IC1, IC2, IC3, it gives the more level of satisfaction. So this is the AB is the budget line. It shows that your income limits, how many goods you have to purchase, that from X goods, from Y goods, that is showing the limit of the consumer. So consumer's income is very limited. Up to that limited income, how many goods they want to purchase, that how to get the maximum satisfaction, that is called as a consumer's equilibrium. So before that I show you some important conditions. So with the help of these conditions easily we can understand that consumer's equilibrium. First condition is consumer can reach up to IC2 only. So consumer can reach that up to IC2 only, IC1, IC2. So because your budget line is only up to the IC2, that's why consumer can reach the up to the IC2 only. This is the first condition. Consumer can reach the up to IC2 only. So okay, Next one, AB is the budget line. So already you know that this is the AB is the budget line. So sir, what is called the budget line? Budget line is nothing but it shows the all possible combinations of the consumer which can buy by the consumer with the given income. For example, I give the 5,000 rupees to the consumer. Within the 5,000 rupees, how many goods are purchasing X goods, how many goods are purchasing from Y goods. So AB is the budget line. It shows that your limit, how much goods you have to purchase that from X goods and Y goods, that is called as a budget line. So budget line is also one topic is there. So budget line is nothing but it shows the all possible combinations of two goods which can buy by the consumer with the given money income of the consumer, that is called as a budget line. Okay, and E lies the equilibrium. This is the second condition. This is the third condition. E lies the equilibrium. So this point E point is lies the equilibrium because equally he want to purchasing the from X goods and Y goods. We have to show that ON Y goods they can purchase that, OM X goods he can purchase that. At that point consumer reaching the maximum level of satisfaction at the point of E. Okay, and another condition at E budget line is tangent to the IC2. Compulsory at E budget line is tangent. Tangent means touching the IC2 only. So IC2, this is the IC2 curve. Budget line is the tangent, not the intersect. That is also one condition. And another condition, marginal rate of substitution is equal to price of X by price of Y. So marginal rate of substitution, budget line is also called as a price line. So it is the equal to the price of X and price of Y. So that is also one condition. So marginal rate of substitution is equal to price of X by price of Y. And another condition, P and Q points. So this P and Q points, P and Q points are not the equilibrium points. Listen here, this P point here Q points are not the equilibrium points because budget indifference curve is the intersect to the budget line. That's why this is not called as the equilibrium point. Here at the point of E only consumer get the equilibrium. Indifference curve is the tangent to the, that is the tangent to the budget line. But here consumer cannot reach the equilibrium at the point of the P because of so this much high they can purchase at the point of Q. This indifference curves and budget curve is not the tangent. He can purchase the more from Y goods, less from X goods. So that is not called as a equilibrium point at the point of P. At the point of Q, at the point of Q also it is not called as a are not equilibrium points because here he can purchasing the more from X goods, they can purchasing the more from Y goods. So both are the P and Q points are not the equilibrium. P and Q points are not called as a equilibrium points. Last condition, consumer cannot reach the IC3. Consumer cannot reach the IC3. So because this IC curve, so when the indifference curves moving IC1, IC2, IC2 upwards, it is going to the upwards, they are given the more satisfaction. First consumer they reach that IC1, so there is some excess amount is there. Again they can reach the IC2 combination, IC2 curve. So here that consumer reaching at the point of view, they can reaching that equilibrium. And then afterwards IC3 curve also is there. It is also given the more satisfaction to the consumer, but that IC curve is going to the behind the budget line. So behind the budget line, the consumer cannot reach the IC3 because AB is the budget line indicates that your income is over. So because IC3 curve is the behind the budget line. So these are the called as a consumer's equilibrium with the graph. Okay, are you understand that total? So indifference curves schedule, indifference curves graph, and properties of indifference curve, and what is the consumer's equilibrium, what is the marginal rate of substitution, different topics. I am already explained that. So I think everyone better understand this class. Okay, so before that, everyone please subscribe my channel, like and share to your friends for the more interesting videos purpose. Thank you to everyone. Okay.